What's up, guys? This is Storm. I hope you're having an amazing weekend and enjoying your amazing day. We got a lot of news to go over, especially the stuff that is being announced at San Diego Comic Con. So, without further ado, let's get on with the news. Our first bit of news is basically something a lot of people said, but they were ridiculed for being fanboys of it. But this comes from an article from Jason Schreier. He has said many leaders within Xbox Game Studios reportedly believe Game Pass has destroyed the values of their game. There are a lot of people in studio leadership within Xbox who absolutely detest Game Pass. They think it's taken away from the value of all games. Thinks think it's been a detriment to the games industry. To be honest, a lot of people said this. I probably said this a couple of times in the past and stuff. But Game Pass. Alright, let me say this. Game Pass is a good value for gamers who don't really have that kind of money to be spending on big budget AAA games every single time when a new one releases and stuff. So I can understand Game Pass being a good thing for those type of gamers. But the thing is, was the biggest part when it came to Game Pass when they conditioned their players not to buy games and putting all their day one big hero launches on it day one. Because in my opinion, it just drops the value of the game. Like you can imagine how many games that Xbox have put out, how much they would have sold greatly if they wasn't on Game Pass, honestly. Because the thing is, like, Game Pass is just like any other subscription. When you have a whole bunch of stuff in a subscription, at some point, some of those stuff is going to get lost in the pile. So, a lot of sleeper hit games that Xbox had in their Game Pass, it got lost in the pile. And people will always be like, oh, I'll come back and play this game some other time. They really don't, because even right now in 2026, we're like halfway through this year. We had a lot of really big, good games earlier this year. And it's even going to be even crazier later this year and the start of next year. So I'm not surprised that some Xbox heads detest Game Pass because there are probably a lot of revenue that they could have gotten if the game wasn't on Game Pass. The biggest one that we saw of this was when they put Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Like, the sales for it was lower compared to previous Call of Duty games. And the thing, Call of Duty always gonna make money and stuff, but it's just the fact that they lost a certain amount of money that they could gotten if it was on Game Pass, and just having that in Game Pass, you just gonna make the whole subscription thing even more expensive. That's why they even removed Call of Duty from day one Game Pass. It's still good. It's still gonna be on Game Pass at some point, but at least Xbox will get those day one sales when the next Call of Duty drops, which is Modern Warfare 4. And the thing is, this is just the start of it, because of course they're gonna be looking at all their game releases and stuff, and they're gonna decide what game would benefit in being Game Pass day one compared to some other games. Because I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Elder Scrolls 6 will be on day one Game Pass. But I could be wrong by saying that. I definitely could be wrong. Definitely gotta wait and see and stuff. But yeah, a lot of people said this about Game Pass and stuff. So it's nothing really new and stuff. But I guess it's good that is being talked about now. But Eh, we'll see. We'll see. Uh, what Xbox is gonna do in the future when it comes to Game Pass. In my opinion, I think they should just get rid of the whole day one games in general and stuff. Don't do it like a case by case scenario. Just remove all your first party games day one for Game Pass and just keep the third party stuff. But I don't work at Microsoft. That's my opinion on what they should do. But we'll see whatever plan they eventually do come up with. A new fighting game was announced called DCKO. It's a DC free-to-play fighting game for mobile. And you can only imagine the look of people's faces when this was shown, because a lot of people have been asking for Injustice 3, so you could only imagine their surprise seeing this game. And I jokingly sent a message to a friend of mine saying like, "Yo, here's your Injustice 3," and he was not really happy with me. But yeah, DCKO announced for mobile, and nothing, nothing much I can say on that is. Yeah, honestly, there's nothing else I can say. I don't know if people go mess with it or not. It's free to play, but you can most likely tell there's gonna be like microtransaction and stuff. So, we'll see if this does turn out to be a decent fighting game and stuff. But a lot of people are still waiting for Injustice 3. News broke out of UK largest gaming retailer Game is in financial trouble and face potential bankruptcy. The once popular retailer specialized in consoles and games, but face financial struggles as customers move towards digital downloads from physical media. This big old dispute that had been going on with the whole how PlayStation is basically gonna stop producing physical copies of games in 2028 and stuff, and it started this big old argument and stuff over physical and digital. And honestly, I'm sick of hearing it, to be honest. Like, I truly believe the ones who are truly upset about it, I truly believe that they have the right to complain about it and stuff. But all the other ones that I've been seeing popping up and stuff, they are performers. Like, honestly, they're just doing it just for either clout, is especially when social media is paying for engagement of posts and all that. And also, they hate PlayStation for one thing or another. So this is just like an extra bullet for them to hate on and stuff. So it's like, it's at this point beyond annoying and stuff. And to be honest, I truly do feel bad who love physical games and stuff. But there's just some other people, they make the thing, it makes my head hurts when some of them talk. And to be honest, this kind of goes into the whole digital physical media thing, because even when the GameStop CEO said like, "Oh, physical games," well, I think he said video games in general was irrelevant and stuff, but he did go on to say it was physical or irrelevant and stuff. So it's like, it's it's crazy because even when you go inside a GameStop store, like, yeah, you'll still see like some games and stuff, but majority of the time that they have Funko Pops, clothing, toys. It's basically like a gaming hot topic, and of course, some people like Sakana have pulled out information on the sales of physical media, but of course, it was only from North America. But you also got to remember, North America is uh, one of the biggest areas for gaming besides UK and Japan and stuff. So it's like most of the most of the player base, I'm assuming, will probably be in the US and stuff. So it's crazy to think about and stuff that this place could potentially face bankruptcy and stuff. But like, hey, at some point we gotta look at ourselves and like we made the choice to go all digital and stuff. And I can understand like you love to have a choice and you want to do physical or media and stuff, but I honestly don't know if it will be. It's not gonna change anytime soon, stuff. So we gotta see how this digital thing goes forward in the future. In my opinion and stuff, like, I don't know what they gonna do. Like, I'm not gonna say this doesn't affect me and stuff, but I eventually moved on. Bought all my, I pretty much bought all my games digital, and so even during the PS4, and there was times I even double dip, buy a physical and a digital, and give it to somebody else. But yeah, we'll see how this movement for physical copy games is going to turn out into the future. But as right now, I'm going to leave this topic as it is because I don't want to talk about it anymore. Nintendo has said they are under no legal obligation to pass US tariff refunds back to gamers. Asked court to dismiss class action lawsuit. Consumers received exactly what they bargained and paid for when buying price hike Nintendo goods last year. And honestly, god damn, like god damn, they basically said like, yeah, you guys pay for this shit, now you guys gotta live with it. And honestly, like who honestly believed that Nintendo was actually gonna give gamers the refund money that they got? And like, who honestly believed that? I don't believe that for man. Like, I don't believe gamers are gullible and stuff. Hopefully they're not, but yeah, I don't know what made them believe that Nintendo was gonna give them this fucking money. Like, it sucks that they're not. Well, potentially not, but it's like, yeah, like, wait, what can you say against that and stuff? And honestly, like, if we want to be 100%, some of these people vote, some of these so-called gamers voted for a certain someone to do these kind of tariffs on all of our stuff. So, congrats to the people who voted for a certain someone for all this to happen. But I digress. And so, I just still kind of find it wild that Nintendo said that and stuff. Like, not so long ago, people would say like Nintendo so far the only is one of the best ones out of the three when it comes to bad news and stuff. So, or screwing over gamers, but yeah, honestly. I really hope there wasn't somebody gullible thinking they was gonna get that money, honestly. But we'll see. Coming from Xbox, apparently they're doing a test with Xbox insiders that they are starting to test as supported way to stream select games from your library for a limited time, available to Xbox insiders. During this test period, Xbox insiders with the Xbox account will be able to stream games they own for free with ads. Players will have 1 hour session limits across support devices and regions. Alright, this news had a little bit of misinformation when it came out. People assume like every hour an ad will play, but it turns out that's not the case. Apparently, when you start the game and you start streaming it, a 2 minute ad will play before the game starts. It doesn't mess up your progress of the games and all that. So you watch a 2 minute ad, then start playing the game, and I guess the test give you like an hour time limit and stuff. So that was the whole misinformation that was going around. People thinking that you was gonna play an hour of a game that then every hour you get like a 2 minute ad. That's not the case. But I kind of figured they probably was gonna do this and stuff. Like in my mind, I was thinking it was gonna be like a cheaper version of like a cheaper version of Game Pass that would have ads and no day one games in it and stuff. So right now, this is just a test for Xbox insiders, so they could just see the reaction, how they feel about it, and stuff. I doubt this is gonna roll out to actual players anytime soon. So it's gonna be a wait and see how this turns out in the end. A couple of days ago, one of the heads of Xbox, who go by Matthew Bowles, talked about Xbox exclusives, telling them that they need to be the center focus going forward when it comes to Xbox. Basically, giving the Xbox community hope that Xbox will go back to doing exclusives again. But it turns out Matt Booty, another head person of Xbox, had an interview with Games Radar, and they asked him about what they're planning to do with the Xbox exclusive, and this this what the Xbox executives on the exclusive. They said there has to be a reason for people to buy an Xbox. Live service titles remain multi-platform. Single player titles exclusively to be determined on case by case basis. Committed to make an exclusive strategy clearer. But that turned out not to be the case because now we have Matthew Walls and Matt Booty. Both of their statements about exclusives is contradicting each other now, because now now they have their gamers confused because it looks like they're gonna still do the same strategy that Phil Spencer was doing. Like the exclusives will just be a case by case scenario. It's not gonna be a full on exclusive for the Xbox. So it basically just like, why can't they just pick a strategy and just stick with it? Why they're having so many contradiction interviews with one another? When one person come out with next, a couple days later, another one comes out with an interview and contradicts what the first one says. So now people are looking at like, which one are we to believe? So as it is right now, we don't know what Xbox plan for the exclusives. They already announced Gears of War Edict and Clockwork Revolution is going to be an Xbox exclusive, which people will believe these are just games that they're going to test to see if exclusives for the Xbox ecosystem is the way to go. Some people believe that they probably send the games up to die and stuff, but we don't know for sure. But it does makes it a head scratcher when they can't decide what they want to do with exclusives. So we'll see what happens and stuff. Like if they, it's just gonna be more than likely they're gonna keep doing what the Phil Spencer strategy, and so they probably gonna have like, oh, the game gonna be exclusive on the Xbox ecosystem for this certain amount of time, then go to like PlayStation soon after, and so that's a possibility for that to happen. But we'll see. Like it all depends how well Gears they do, especially when it comes to keeping the multiplayer player base big enough so people won't be struggling with the matchmaking. The devs of the Avatar Legends fighting game has put out a statement regarding the Nintendo and the Xbox version of the game, and this is what it says. The official launch of Avatar Legends, the fighting game, is almost here, and we can't wait for players and fans around the world to jump in and start playing. As we approach launch, we want to update our community on a few platform-specific details. For Nintendo Switch players, the Nintendo Switch version will be available as the standard edition only. Additionally, crossplay with other platforms and language localization beyond English will not be available. We are committed to bringing these features along with the upgrading to Deluxe Edition to players as soon as possible, and we'll keep you updated on our timeline and progress. For the Xbox community, we are forced to delay the release due to unforeseen circumstances on a back-end feature. We will now launch by September 3rd. Existing pre-orders will remain active and will not be cancelled. Our priority is delivering the best possible experience on every platform, and we are working tirelessly to make that happen. Thank you for your patience, understanding, and continued support. We're excited to get everyone in the fight as soon as possible. Tune in for the updates we have for them. Yeah, as you can see, the game is being delayed on the Xbox version, and the Deluxe Edition plus all the other features are delayed on the Nintendo Switch version, which is pretty crazy because this news came out literally a couple of hours before the game dropped and stuff. So, in my opinion, this is bad on the devs that they announced this now, right before the game dropped and stuff. So now, Xbox players are pissed that their version of the game got delayed for the ones that pre-order it, and the Switch version won't get all the stuff for the game until at some point until the Deluxe Edition comes out. So it's unfortunate and stuff. So like it really sucks. Hopefully, hopefully they will get it out because this thing could really hurt a game and stuff. So we'll see how it's performing right now. People are playing it right now, so I don't know how well it is doing on the PlayStation side. And I believe it's also on PC, possibly. But yeah, really bad on the devs to drop this news literally when they were about to launch the game. Alright, to wrap up this video, we're gonna end it off by discussing all the stuff that was shown off at San Diego Comic Con 2026 when it comes from Insomnia Marvel Wolverine panel, the God of War Love Fate panel, and Marvel Tolkien Fighting Soul panel. There was a lot of new information that they revealed during those panels, so the first one we're going to talk about is Marvel Tolkien. Marvel Tolkien had a panel that they showcased the intro video for the game. Unfortunately, I'm unable to play it due to the music and I don't want to get copyright. But as you can see in the background, I have been playing the beta of the game. It is a really fun game, especially someone like me who's not really into the whole fighting game stuff. But I definitely enjoy my experience with it. But another new thing that they did well, a couple of things they did announce was a brand new suit for Wolverine will be coming into the game. Yes, Insomnia default suit for Marvel Wolverine, the Battle Reborn suit will be a skin for Wolverine and Marvel Tokon Fighting Soul, which absolutely look amazing in the art style for Marvel Tokon, which is crazy. And overall, that is pretty awesome and stuff. And also during the panel for Marvel Tokon, they also revealed the first DLC character that's gonna be coming in the game around fall 2026. And here's the trailer for it.
Listen to me. You will do nothing but reduce everyone to ash.
No, I can control it for long enough to do what I have to. I will save mutant kind. The new Age of the Phoenix begins now.
PlayStation. Yes, we're again the Phoenix Force version of Cyclops, which looks pretty awesome, especially seeing how he looks from the comic book version and stuff. And honestly, a lot of people believe they were gonna get the regular good guy version of Scott Summers, but nah, you're getting the evil version of him. And honestly, I think it's a great change of pace and stuff, because I don't think this version of Cyclops ever been betrayed in any video game and stuff. So it's good that our system works is doing something different compared to how Marvel vs. Capcom did by having the standard version of Cyclops. A lot of people hoping that one of the different skins that he has is his regular version of him, which most likely will be and stuff. We just gotta wait and see when his character comes out. But he's set to drop on fall of this year, and I can't wait to see what other DLC characters will make the roster for Marvel Tokon that's set to release in August. And that was pretty much all the stuff that was shown at the Marvel Tokon panel and stuff. It just unfortunately I couldn't play the intro of it, but the gameplay that I have in the background does show it just without the audio and stuff. So you want to check out for yourself, you can look it up on YouTube and stuff. But now we're going to talk about the next panel, which was Santa Monica Studio with Cory Barlog with God of War La Fe. I'm going to start by saying that during the panel they announced the official release date for God of War La Fe that's set to release February 16th. 2027, and I am truly excited to get my hands on it. So that 20-minute gameplay that they show and what we could expect from the story looks truly absolutely amazing and stuff. And I'm kind of surprised it's coming out that early in 2027, especially when you got like Jason Schreier was saying like it was gonna come out before 2028, which already set the expectation it was going to come out around 2027, but I didn't expect that early in 2027. I kind of expected around like May or April and stuff. But yeah, kind of surprised about that. But then again, I shouldn't be, because God of War games traditionally come out around the spring season and stuff, so this kind of does fall in line with that. The only one that didn't come around the spring time, I believe it was God of War Ragnarok and possibly God of War Ascension, but God of War Ragnarok definitely came out later in the year than the other traditional God of War games was. But yeah, absolutely excited to see what they got cooking for this game, and they also gave us a little bit more details on it and stuff. One of the details that they said that Cory Barlog wanted to show an extension of this world where characters you encounter are unexpected. La Fe is a continuation of what came before and prepare and expand what comes next. So basically, La Fe is going to continue the Norse mythology, which is kind of funny that originally they didn't want to do a trilogy for it, but La Fate ended up being the third game in the Norse mythology, if you want to count, say it is. But another thing that was cool about it, Cory Barlow did say that there will be another God of War game that takes place after God of War La Fate, and it's gonna be Kratos focused. This is what they said. It said the next game with Kratos will arrive after God of War La Fate in 2027. The new installment will connect directly with Faye's story. God of War La Fate is a continuation of the Norse games and the prelude to Kratos' return. So, what could we possibly expect for that one? Honestly, it's up in the air because God of War La Fate, even though we don't know what we could expect, they set the groundwork what we possibly could get because we're already seeing two different type of gods from different pantheons. We see Seth, which is the Egyptian, and Besky from the, I think it was not Mayan. I think it was Mayan or Hindu. One of those pantheons and stuff. So the possibility is endless once God of War La Fate comes out. And the fact that there's gonna be another one coming out right after it. On top of that, we got the 3 God of War remakes of the original trilogy. We're getting 5 God of War games. And I can't wait to play them all when they eventually come out. I will be there day one for God of War La Fate when it comes out on February 16th. And now, we're going to end it off with the final panel, which is Insomniac Marvel Wolverine. For the Wolverine panel at Insomniac, they showed a lot of stuff. From a statue sculpture of Marvel Wolverine, a new look of Wolverine without his suit and mask. We got a look of Sabretooth in his Insomniac version of his classic X-Men suit, which is truly amazing. And we got a lot more information regarding to the game and what to expect. And we got a brand new story trailer that we'll get to see, which I'm going to show off later. But the new information that we got is concept art of Wolverine, Mystique, and Sabretooth. Here's the picture. You see Sabretooth in his comic book accurate suit, Wolverine and Mystique in her comic book accurate suit. And a lot of people joke that how Insomniac was able to get the comic book accurate suit of Mystique, but not the MCU when it comes to Avengers Doomsday, which I kind of thought was pretty funny. But they also talked about some stuff about the X-Men. About the game. It said Insomniac Wolverine set in a world where the X-Men doesn't exist yet, which we already knew about when it was shown the extended gameplay at the State of Play. They said Wolverine, Mystique, and Sabretooth form Team X with Nathaniel Essex to protect the mutants. You don't know who Nathaniel is. That is the villain Mr. Sinister. But by the looks of it, this game will take place before he becomes Mr. Sinister and stuff. So it's going to be very interesting that they're going to lead up to that. And they said Boulevard Trask and Trask Industries are the main villains. Lady Deathstrike also features as the leader of the Hand. So that is going to be amazing. We already knew like Trask was going to be the villains of this game, but they're being considered that the main villains. I don't know if that is to be true or it could be a misdirect and stuff, but I can't wait to see how that turns out. And Lady Deathstrike, the leader of the Hand, which kind of seems right because going off of the cinematic trailer of Ain't No Hero, We saw Lady Deathstrike with the hand, and she did give off the vibe that she was leading them and stuff. So Lady Deathstrike leading the hand to go after Wolverine. Oh man, he is gonna be going through it. Absolutely going through it. But they expanded the story of Wolverine during the panel. They said the story explores Logan's struggle between his humanity and his savage instinct. Insomniac said Wolverine will be raw, emotional, deeply human, not just a brutal fighter. Liam McIntyre voices and performs Wolverine. They got David Fleming, who did the music for the Last of Us TV show. He is composing the game's soundtrack. The first soundtrack that came out is called Logan. Unfortunately, I'm unable to play it here, but you could hear it out on YouTube, Spotify, and all that to get a good look how it sounds and stuff. To be honest, it actually sounds pretty cool and stuff. And I can't wait to see what other soundtracks he's done for the game. Overall, I'm truly excited for Marvel Wolverine. It is my most anticipated game to end off of 2026, and September cannot get here fast enough. So, with that being said, this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please like and share if you want to hear more of what's coming news that will be coming. Hit the bell for a notification when I drop a video. And I'm gonna close out this video with the brand new story trailer for Marvel Wolverine. I hope you enjoy your weekend, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Logan! It's me! Wait!
Logan, you came back. I've seen things from before.
Humans and mutants can't survive together.
I've tried to keep them safe for so long.
Fucking fast.
Inside! Now!
I thought you were back. We were back. We're gonna build a future for mutants. That is why you belong here.
Tear the beast. The hunt is ready.
Most people I see clearly. But you.
Just give in!
Remember who you are!
Just can't let a man rest in peace, can you?
PlayStation